All right, we are going to make a drawing with some GDT symbols on it. Let's look at how to do that. Here is the drawing that we're going to be making. It's got basic dimensions, which we'll learn about, I think, next week. They have boxes around them. It's got some feature control frames with several different symbols. There's one for flatness. And it has some datum identifiers, A, B, and C, which we'll learn about later. Oh, and it has a dimension that is a limits dimension, so you'll need a separate dimension style for that one too. I took the liberty of inserting the image from that assignment into our CAD drawing so that it's easier to flip back and forth if we need to. First of all, let's just remind ourselves how to make that limits dimension. So in the Annotate tab, I'm going to go to Dimension Style, and I'm going to make a new style. I want to keep my standard style. I'm going to make a new one. This one will be for limits. And I want a tolerance. I want a limits tolerance. So I'm in the Tolerance tab. I select Limits as the method. I drew my holes 1/4 of an inch in diameter, so I'm going to make my upper value 5 thousandths and my lower value 0. And I must remember one more thing. I must come down here to the bottom and check zero suppression. Suppress the leading 0. Okay. And limits is my current style, so good. So now if I get a diameter dimension, let's see if this will work. I'll click on that and I'll come out here. Yep. Before I click, I need to get 4 times in there. And notice that one of the options is M text. So before I blop it down, I will go M for M text. And it will take me into the M text editor where it will let me enter a 4x. And now I will close the MText editor, and now I will click it where I want it to go. So there's that. What about getting these basic dimensions on there? Let me go make another dimension style. I want to base this style off of my standard dimension. I don't want limits tolerances in there. So I'm going to click Standard. That's the one I want to base it on. And now I'll create a new dimension style. And I will call this Basic. Continue. All I have to do, watch this, is go into the Tolerance tab and select Basic as the method. Watch the preview screen. See how those boxes turned up? Okay, that is all I need. Now Basic is my current style, so that's good. And now, if I put a dimension on my drawing, looky there, it's got a nice basic box around it, and I can keep doing whatever it is I'm doing. Okay, what else? Let's look at how to put these feature control frames on here. Let me go back to the Home tab and show you what will not work. So in the Home tab, here's this annotation panel, and I don't know about you, but I am in the habit of dropping this down and finding the dimension method I want. Well, there's no GDT thing in there. So that's not good. And I click annotation. No, that's just the styles. That won't work. So what I've learned from this little foray is that I must go to the Annotate tab, where I have a bigger panel to choose from, and I still don't see GDT stuff here, but look here at the bottom of this panel, there's another drop-down bar. So I'm in the Annotate tab, I came over to this dimension panel, and look there, there's that thingy, tolerance. And when you click that, this thing comes up. It's really self-explanatory. So let's do our position tolerance there. The first thing I will do is click the kind of symbol I want. I click that window and this menu comes up, and there is position. Okay. Now, according to this, we want a diameter symbol in that tolerance zone. So I'd better click this box, this black box, that puts in that. Now over here in the tolerance window, I can type 6 thousandths. According to this drawing, there's an M modifier. So this next box here I will click. Material condition modifier, I'll click an M. Okay. Then I need an A, a B, and a C. All right. A, and those datums do not have M modifiers next to them, so I'm not going to click these boxes. I'm just going to type A, B, and C. That's all. That gives me all the stuff I need in my feature control frame. And if I now just click where I want it, look, there it is, with all the stuff in it. And I can do the same for these other geometric symbols. There's a profile symbol and a flatness symbol, and you can too. So when you go into this thing and click the symbol, there's profile, there's flatness. Just select the symbols that you want. Yes, cancel. All right, fine. Cancel. Okay, so we've got the limits dimension, we've got the basic dimension, and we just found out how to put these geometric controls on there. Now let's get these datum identifier boxes. A, B, and C. Oh, I think I'll put the C on there. I'm going to go back to, I'm still in the Annotate tab, going to go back to the Dimension panel, drop down, get my Geometric Tolerance box, and here in the bottom of this Geometric Tolerance is a thing that says Datum Identifier. So I'll click there, type a C, and that's all. Well, that's great, but there's no suction cup. See how these have suction cups? That's not really a suction cup. That is a datum, I forget what that's called, datum triangle. So what I need now is a new leader style. I'm still in the Annotate tab. I'm going to go to the Leader panel and create a new style, and I will call that datum so I can remember what I'm doing. Continue. Nothing there that looks helpful. Nothing in this tab that looks helpful. Let me go to this tab. Haha, leader format. Here's where the arrowheads are. Normally we have an arrowhead, but let us click that down arrow and look down here. Datum triangle. You could have one that's open or one that's filled. I'll choose the datum triangle filled. And I'll tell it OK. I would like not to have that extra landing there, but I'm not sure how to get rid of it. Oh, automatically include landing is in this middle tab. Uncheck that. Yay! All right. So now I've got my leader style. And my datum style is current, so that's good. Now I will zoom in closer so I can see what I'm doing. As usual, I will show you the stupid method because I don't really know the shortcuts. So I'm going to get a leader, and leaders go downstream, or upstream I mean, so we start with the place where we want the suction cup, click, and notice at first you don't see the suction cup and you go, oh my gosh, what's wrong? You need to pull far enough away so there's enough distance so that that thing shows up. Click, and that's all I want. I don't want text. Now what I do is once I have that suction cup thing, now I do a move and move my datum identifier box. I grab it by the midpoint and snap it onto this line. So there's my, there's my datum identifier. I want to point something out. Datum identifiers mean one thing when the leader line is directly opposite a dimension, like C is and like B is. They mean a different thing when the suction cup is not opposite a dimension. So these two are opposite a dimension, and that means it's actually the center plane that the inspector will use as their datum. Never mind that, but that is what that means. But with datum A, suction cup down here, we will put the suction cup down here somewhere on that extension line, and that means datum A is a surface. Then I could come over here if I wanted. I could get my datum identifier box, drop it down here, and I could try to eyeball it, but I won't get it, so I'm gonna just get close and then move it using O snaps, because you really need O snaps. Okay, and then I can try putting my flatness box on there. So one feature control frame says, let's see, flatness, there's that thing, within a tolerance zone, two parallel planes that are 5/1000ths apart, and that's all we have in that flatness thing. And notice how the box is stuck to my cursor, so I can just snap right to my extension line, and there it is. So there you are. A limits dimension style for the hole diameter, a geometric tolerance for these various feature control frames, a geometric tolerance again to put these datum identifier boxes down, and a new leader style with a datum triangle in it to make the suction cups. Happy drawing!